Good evening, citizens. Welcome back to Batman Arkham City. Today I'm joined by one more special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Jenner. I'm back. Oh, whoa, that is quite the package.
Yeah, so I'm actually using a different skin here. Normally I've been keeping the skins to the challenge videos, but this is the 1970s Batsuit Batman. Because, of course it is.
Oh man, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, so far they've had a bunch of different suits. Batman Arkham Origins does a pretty good job of different suits as well. But this one, they've got a couple different ones. One I may not be able to show off is the Sinestro Corps back suit, which is from the... I'm actually not sure when Batman was in the Sinestro Corps, but I'm sure it happened.
The Sinestro Corps, well, is the Green Lantern thing, right? Where they get power rings, right?
Kind of. The Green Lanterns are one kind of lantern. They're the Green Lantern rings are kind of based on willpower. Like that's what the green color stands for, is willpower.
Right.
So, like if Batman ever got a Green Lantern ring, he would be an unstoppable force of nature.
That's true. So what color ring does he get?
Well, the Sinestro Corps, I believe they're all yellow lanterns, and yellow lanterns are based on fear.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense.
Which is also, yeah,
people.
it also makes sense. So, I don't know how many of these, how many videos are you... I'm going to assume you're still not that much of a Bat fan.
I mean, I really don't like Batman, you guys. But that's okay, because I do like the Batman games. I just don't like Batman. It's like, you can enjoy a meal that has an ingredient you don't like, because it's still a good meal, right?
Yeah, totally. So, that being said, how familiar are you with Arkham City, or how many things going on here have you seen?
I've been watching most of your videos. I'm up to, I think, video 8 or 9. So I when you were like, hey, come back and do Talkie Boo, I was like, fine, I'll catch up on your videos. So I'm on 8 or 9, but I'm still kind of behind. Sorry.
Yep, I think this one's actually video 24, so it's a little bit behind.
Outed myself as a not video watcher. I promise I'll watch all your videos and then I'll message you in the chat and I'll be like, oh, you made good video. But yeah, so it's like, you like meatloaf, right? And then your mom's like, I made you meatloaf, and you're like, yay, and she's like, and I made you Brussels sprouts, and you're like, that's my experience with this Batman game. It's a really good game, and it has Batman in it. That's all.
Yeah, sounds fair. Yeah, I can't really argue with a lot of that. It kind of gets to the feeling like Arkham Asylum really felt like, you know, it had a lot of bat things going on for you. You know, like, hey, I'm Batman, I'm in Arkham Asylum, I'm beating dudes up. One of the common complaints I get here is that this game kind of loses a lot of its focus. You know, in Arkham Asylum, the game was, you were in a very set area, and, you know, there were certain things you had to do. This game, honestly, I could see you reskinning this, you know what I mean? Not everything you do feels totally like Batman. Like, you know, something somebody's pointed out is, let's say that the Joker... you know, does his little plan, and he escapes from Arkham City with the immortality of the Lazarus Pit. Okay, cool. What's he gonna do when he runs into Wonder Woman or Superman? Because I'm pretty sure even if he is temporarily immortal, well, a snap neck is not going to help him out that much.
Well, he'll just walk with, you know, crooked neck for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Where'd all the food go anyway?
So, I don't know. This game definitely did a lot of lip service to the Joker, even more so than Arkham Asylum did. And that's not a bad thing, you know, considering this is Mark Hamill's final send-off as the Joker. It's nice to say they had a fun time with it.
Well, the Joker is pretty much Batman's biggest nemesis or whatever, like his arch rival. Or whatever. Well,
that's actually something neat I was talking about. Major JF was one of the commentators I had, and he actually had from somewhere he'd gotten a big pile of comic books from the 70s and 80s or so. And the Joker really wasn't that prominent of a villain until recently.
Oh.
Yeah. So only maybe once they had him appear in the movie, you know, the first Batman movie they did with Jack Nicholson as Jack Napier.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and
that's right. There was the Jack Nicholson. That's right. That was forever ago.
Yeah, I think that may have been the first time that you know, the Joker kind of entered to the consciousness as, well, hey, here's a really fun guy, and he can be all kinds of different things. Because, you know, he only appeared in that one movie because, well, he died at the end of the movie. But I think it may have been a combination of that, and you also had the animated series at the time doing a lot of different things.
Yeah, I always thought it was another the animated series thing, where they were like, wow, this character's an amazing foil for Batman, so let's go with this.
Yeah, and part of the benefit there is, sorry if there's some background noise on my end, I've got jets passing over my apartment.
I don't even hear it.
Oh, well, good. But, I think...
I heard it.
yeah, give it some time.
Towers.
Oh well. So, I'd come into here earlier, and I broke this one-way mirror, and I didn't think there was anything in here. It just turns out I'm blind. There's a Riddler trophy up there on the ceiling.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
That's what I get for paying some attention, I guess.
Oh, you learned about the main antagonist of this game.
Oh yeah, you get to learn some stuff about Hugo Strange. Hugo Strange is kind of a weird guy. He's not... You know, there are a couple characters that can be kind of described as anti-Batman. You know, one of the guys we ran across in Arkham Asylum was Prometheus, who, you know, he was he was a criminal whose parents were gunned down by cops, and so he dedicated himself to killing as many cops as possible.
Right.
But Hugo Strange doesn't really fit into that. Hugo Strange is... I guess the only way I can think of to describe him, and you may have more input on this since you have more psychological background than I do, is he wants to take over Batman's position. I don't really know how you would classify that. He's definitely obsessive, you know, he's obsessive on Batman. But I don't know how to classify him at all. But then again, I got nothing on that.
Again, I don't have the credentials to diagnose anybody. I want to remind everybody that I never finished my degree for reasons, but I can say that you're right about the obsession for sure. He's definitely obsessed with Batman. It almost seems like a really twisted hero worship. We talk a lot about like the to use an anime term, the yandere girl, which is like this character that's really into another character and like makes their lives
yeah. And see, that's one of the weird things. Just to bring that up real quick, that's what happens if you try and have Batman pick up a Catwoman Riddler trophy. The only question I have is, the Riddler got taken care of last video, so I'm not sure how he's still sending these messages unless they were pre-recorded.
He's like, no, Batman, you can't get that one. I have specifically gender segregated these trophies.
He did, you have no idea. You're joking, but it's true.
Oh, god damn it. Sorry for the spoiler, guys.
But yeah, so he's definitely obsessive.
Yeah, he's obsessed, and there's almost a hero worship thing. Like I said, it's almost a yandere style, like, I love you, so nobody else gets to have you kind of thing, in a way, which I kind of like. That's a kind of... It's good to have a male character actually be kind of like that towards Batman, instead of all the ladies being like, well, I'm gonna have sex with Batman, or want to have sex with Batman, which is how it usually is. So,
well, yeah, I mean,
I'm
hey,
okay with that.
Who wouldn't love to have some fun time with a hero, am I right?
Well, I don't believe Batman is a hero, but I don't want to start another thread so...
That's okay. We can all have different heroes.
Just like...
So, you don't like Batman. Are there any so-called superheroes that you are a fan of?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I have a weird love-hate relationship with all superheroes. It always seems like as soon as I start liking a superhero, eventually just they decide to derail that superhero, and I guess it's my fault for liking female superheroes, because I mean, I like Captain Marvel. The new Captain Marvel is really good. And
yeah, the new Captain
really
Marvel
like
is the Muslim American, right?
Yes, Kamala.
And she's a girl. What?
Yep, and I know, but Captain Marvel is usually a girl. But still, yeah, I love the new Captain Marvel. And so far, so good, but I'm just waiting for it to get really stupid, because it always does. And of course, I really liked Catwoman. I say liked Catwoman. Unfortunately, things happened to Catwoman, but also really loved Birds of Prey. I read that entire thing until things happened, and people who have read Birds of Prey know what I'm talking about. And then I stopped reading Birds of Prey because that's mean and horrible, and thanks a lot for that. So, yeah. My sister, I'll plug my sister. My sister draws a webcomic, yay, and she's big into comics, and she wanted me to read all these comics, so I've been reading a lot of graphic novels. So now I'm reading The Sandman and Fable because she told me to, so I've got that I'm doing right now. So I really like Snow White. She's pretty cool. I'm sure that won't last.
Yep, the Fables, those are the ones they made the Telltale games based off of, right?
Whoa, God, it's the other way around, but yes, I don't care that much about it.
No, yeah, they had the... was it the other way around? I know they had the books, and then they made the game, right?
Yeah, exactly, they had the books, and then they made the game.
I thought that's what I said. That's what they made the game based off of.
Oh, okay, I thought you meant that they made
the nope, sorry.
based on the game. Yeah, no, that was me misunderstanding.
Yeah, so that's one of those things I thought about getting into, but never got around to. That's just my cultural insensitivity. Shame on me.
And then she was like, you gotta read The Watchmen, you gotta read Transmetropolitan, and I was like, okay. So you open Pandora's box, so to speak. Yeah, I was like, I've commentated on this video, sis, and she was like, oh boy, and I was like, I need to know more about comic books for the next one, because this guy, he knows all about comic books, and she was like, you should spend a bunch of time talking about all these comic books that I want to talk about. And I was like, why don't you commentate on his video? And then she was like, I don't have time for that. I gotta draw pretty pictures.
Don't you know, she's kind of important. She's got many things to do.
No, but she is incredibly important. She's awesome. So, yeah.
So yeah, support your local webcomic drawers.
Yeah, she's in the latest Spera. If you guys want to check out her work, there I plugged my sister. Now I don't have to do it. She didn't ask me to do that. I'm doing it. I always do it.
But so you've never actually read Watchmen or before?
No, I've never read The Watchmen. I did see the movie, and I was like, wow, this is really rapey. And I stopped watching the movie. I got really uncomfortable. I was like, gee, this is incredibly unfortunate.
Yeah, it's one of those things, pretty much anyone who's been involved with comics, women are, what's the word, troublingly portrayed.
Yeah, and it bothers me a lot. And it's hard, it's difficult for me as a woman who, you know, likes women and likes men, being a fan of these things, liking these things, and having to deal with them. Like, I'd like there to be a female character that doesn't have that. We talked about this when I commentated last time about how every female villain, you know, has to hate men, has to have some sexual issues, or it has to be crazy. I mean, and can't they just be a female villain?
Yeah, can't it just be like, why can't it just be Superwoman, you know, instead of Superman? It's not based on, hey, she's a woman, it's based on she's got superpowers, and she's from Krypton, and she's gonna punch bad guys in the face.
Like, it's like, they call her Power Girl, right? I liked Power Girl. I read a couple Power Girl comics, and she was pretty cool, but again, the main thing she's got going for her is the Angelina Jolie principle, which I'm not okay with.
What's the, I'll bite, what's the Angelina Jolie principle?
She's just got huge tracts of land to make Monty Python reference.
Yeah, she's got the, I'm pretty sure her outfit had the boob window, right?
Yeah, got the boob window. I mean, I'm okay with having sexy costumes. Like, you can be sexy, that's fine. You can have sexy costumes, but I don't know.
It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be your main power.
Right. I've read about this Amanda Waller person, because the Suicide Squad movie is coming out here soon.
Yep.
She's not exactly a hero, but she's the kind of hero, in air quotes, I would get behind.
Yeah, so Amanda Waller is not a hero by any means. She's she works for the government, and she forces these villains to basically work for her to get, you know, questionable deeds done. But she's not superpowered at all. She just does terrifying things to people. It's kind of like Batman, but on a more government-sanctioned note, and less, you know, even less obvious on trying to say, well, you can't really say Amanda Waller's trying to work on improving society that she's beating up, because, well, she's doing important government stuff, right? The reason I call it the Suicide Squad is nobody else would normally go on these missions.
Right.
So they can either suffer through life in prison, or they can have their sentences commuted for going on these suicide missions.
Right. So Amanda Waller's kind of, like, I'm kind of curious, but I'm worried about any movie with Will Smith in it, so... He's like a Scientologist now, so, or something, close to a Scientologist. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. Who knows? Could be good, could be trash. And that's kind of...
the Green Lantern movie.
Oh, let's not talk about that. That's something else that I talked about briefly with Major JF, is that DC does not have the same track record with its movies as Marvel does.
What number of Spider-Mans are they on now? Like,
well, they did the original series, was Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. That was with
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire. And then they had the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 with the new guy. So they've had 5 Spider-Man movies.
That's why you need to revamp your stuff over and over and over again like that. And now they're doing it with Batman. They got these first 3 Batmans, which were pretty good, I guess. And now they're doing it. They're making the Ben Affleck Batman, I guess.
Well, I guess the Ben Affleck Batman isn't turning up in just a Batman movie. He's it's more or less Man of Steel Part 2. That also has Batman in it, from my understanding.
Okay. So
yeah.
This is like the Kryptonite gloves thing everybody is always talking about, where he's gonna fight Superman.
Maybe. They are calling it, I believe they're calling it Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice is the name of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a... yeah. But I think, as far as I know, that's what they're calling it. And, so they're going to have Ben Affleck Batman, and they're going to have Superman. And I believe this is the first time in DC movie history that you're really going to see two DC heroes appear in the same screen.
Right, so they're basically trying to do the Avengers thing, build towards the Avengers
yeah.
style thing.
It seems like that may be what they're building up towards, because, you know, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are typically some of the 3 core members of the Justice League, which is kind of the Avengers, but for DC.
It's colder than the snow.
Man,
It's hard out here.
Everybody always makes fun of Aquaman, right? But I like Aquaman a lot. I originally liked him ironically because everybody else made fun of him. So I was like, I'm gonna like this pathetic, bad, powered guy. But apparently, Aquaman isn't terrible at all. He's actually pretty freaking great.
Bad.
And he's also part of this trio or quartet of
yeah. Depending on which portion you're looking at, Aquaman typically appears as part of the Justice League. They had in the animated series, they had the Justice League TV cartoon. He was never really a member of the Justice League, but he worked with them once in a while. But then Aquaman's always had kind of this, I don't know, a reputation as, hey, it's a guy who controls fish. Woo. Right. But then you also have things like in the Justice League, he was a strong guy. You know, he had a hook for a hand. He was like Captain Ahab, only he was the white whale, and Captain Ahab got torn apart.
Right.
But and then you have other presentations of Aquaman, like the Batman Brave and the Bold Aquaman, which was kind of the concept of, imagine a universe where Aquaman is cool.
I've heard so many good things about Batman Brave and the Bold. I'll have to watch it. I like Batman Beyond. Actually, I've been watching Batman Beyond a lot lately, and it's really, really good. I was for sure it was going to be more 90s, like nostalgia, but I like Batman Beyond a lot, more than I thought I would.
Great.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones that kind of sneaks up on you, because I don't I think at the time it was kind of poorly received, but in retrospect, as people kind of go back and look at it, it comes across a lot better. You know, the entire thing, they handle a lot of different storylines, and they all just kind of they come together pretty well. And it's one of those things. It's come up a lot in the thread as people saying, "Yeah, Batman Beyond was really good."
Yeah, it was, and one of the things I really like about Batman Beyond is they kind of hang a lampshade on the fact that this creepy guy is just like not a good person and just picks up these people in desperate situations and teaches them to kill, and it's not exactly something a decent human being or healthy, good person does. And it kind of points out that Bruce isn't exactly this paragon of goodness and righteousness anymore. They really kind of investigate the fact that he's not a good person, and I like that a lot about Batman Beyond.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one of the things it goes into as well is it talks about Barbara Gordon, the Commissioner's daughter, Oracle. I want to say in the animated series universe, she didn't get a broken back, so she was able to keep acting as Batgirl for a while. And one of the episodes, I think it was actually I think this was at the end of the fourth season of Justice League. They had an epilogue episode, and basically it was Terry McGinnis, the Batman Beyond Batman, finding out that Bruce Wayne is his biological father.
Okay.
Yeah, it gets worse, but don't worry too much. It finds out that Bruce Wayne's a biological father, and it's a plan initiated by Amanda Waller, because what she had done was they needed.
Full circle. Sorry, just one save.
Yeah, we came full circle.
Go on.
Basically, what happened in the episode is they were having to deal with the Royal Flush Gang, and Ace is a very powerful psychic who was kind of created the Royal Flush Gang.
I thought Ace was the name of the Bat Dog.
Yes, it is, but Ace is also the name of a playing card.
Okay, so do go on. I was hoping the dog was evil.
Not quite.
The start of darkness of Ace the Bat Hound.
Yeah, so
do go on.
So they had to deal with Ace, who was kind of reaching critical mass. And by the way, we have achieved every Batman Riddler trophy.
Woohoo!
This is just me going through all that.
I was here for it. It was me. I was here for it again.
Yeah, so they had this entire deal where somebody had to go and deal with Ace, and Batman went to deal with Ace because he had experience in dealing with Ace before. And what had happened is instead of using this kind of a mind wiper that Amanda Waller had given him, he took care of her. You know, he went. She knew she was going to die. Batman knew she was going to die, so he just kind of stayed there with her until she died. You know, made sure she went out peacefully instead of having a gigantic psychic backlash as if Superman was going to punch his way in. So the reason Amanda Waller went through all this stuff of basically creating a Batman is because you need somebody with that kind of compassion to work with the heroes. So yeah, Batman he had his moments, and he wasn't always a child-enabling jerk.
Hell, the Catwoman got away with all that
Hey,
crap.
Scruffy, I like this thing. Oh, Jen, let me tell you some stuff about this thing that ruins everything about this thing. Oh, thank you, Scruffy. That was our conversation right there.
Sorry, I'm helping.
You're a helper.
I can't help myself.
I thought I heard a cat, but it's actually somebody screaming.
Yeah, it's a cat inside the game.
Cat.
Yeah. So you can switch to Catwoman at these points throughout the map that are marked off by cats are sitting there.
I think I'm going to enjoy this.
Yeah, because cats.
No. Okay. You already did the slide. I saw that episode.
So tell me about your feelings on Catwoman in this game. I'll bite.
In this game, no. But my favorite Catwoman is Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. I'll fight anybody who disagrees. She's really good.
So, not a fan of the cat.
I like the cat, just not in this game, and not anymore, because they keep doing things with her that are sexist and not funny.
Yeah, I watched a, I'm trying to remember where it was. I found it on YouTube. It may have been sort of a, hey, here's what we're trying to do with the DC animated stuff. And it was pretty much Catwoman, but as the exact same. She was trying to fight a mob boss or something like that.
Well,
and she was
isn't
dealing
this
with
nice? I guess Batman found your wife after all.
Oh yeah, she tried to get the girls in. Yeah, so the big mob boss and his two henchmen went to a strip club because of course they do. And Catwoman goes there to interrogate him, and does the whole hey, I'm pole dancing, and zips down. She's got pretty much the same outfit on, so she zips it down most of the way and pulls out the whip and whips some people up, and of course.
Just asking, Freeze. Just asking.
Right.
It's one of those things where I'm kind of sitting here thinking is. I have to think that Catwoman has more facets to her than, hey there, sexy. Hey, she has to.
I have titties and a vagina, and that's all there is about me. But there's more to Catwoman. The things that I like about Catwoman is, one, she's a sex-positive woman. Like, she's not ashamed of sex, and she's not ashamed of her body, and I like that. Two, she's really actually nimble and skilled and has abilities, like, she can do all this gymnastics stuff. She's intelligent, and she finds solutions to her problems that are out of the box. She shows that, she engineers stuff just like Batman. She makes her own devices and things like that. So,
it's almost one of those things. I'd say Catwoman gets almost the same short shrift that Harley Quinn does in these games. Harley Quinn, she's got problems, don't get me wrong, but
oh, yeah.
she's not as dumb as the games make her out to be.
Yeah, true. I mean, you can't exactly become a psychiatrist by being an idiot. Well, I'm sure some people would disagree. Psychiatrists like me, but you do gotta be smart enough to pass the classes. You gotta at least get a C.
Because one of the things they'd done is, Harley Quinn kind of came out as a hit in the animated series, but so what they decided to do was they actually made a full-on comic out of how Harley Quinn came to be, a psychiatrist and all that. And one of the implications they had is that she more or less slept her way to getting her degree.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah. But the thing is... Go ahead.
No, I was going to make a joke about how that doesn't work. It doesn't work, but I actually never tried, so...
Yeah.
I'm speaking from lack of experience here.
So it's kind of a thing of, she's not as dumb as she appears. Even around the time she spent a lot of time in the animated series and all that, she was one of the only people to outsmart Batman. She has outsmarted Batman on multiple occasions. I know at least once, I'm pretty sure at least once happened in the games, but what she did was, she took one of Joker's death traps. And, part of the problem he was having with putting the death trap into effect is, well, it's not going to work because Batman isn't going to see all the piranhas who are going to eat him alive smiling, because you always have to have a laugh when you're making a death trap.
Right.
So she goes through this whole process of she takes the plan and she puts into action. She gets Batman. She gets him in the tank and everything, and she shows Batman taunts her and says, "You should show the Joker. I bet I'll be so proud of you." And so she calls the Joker, pulls him out, and says, "Hey, Puddin', look what I did. And I even hung him upside down so he'd see the fish smiling, see?" Which, hey, if he's upside down, he's going to see the fish smiling upside down, or frowning upside down, which is a smile, totally. But Joker does not take well to this, and throws her out of a window.
Yeah.
Because, of course.
He's got to be the one to do it, and how dare, yeah.
Yeah, and pretty much the entire thing he says is, you remember what I told you about the first rule of comedy is, sometimes you have to deal with people who just don't get the joke.
Joker's not funny. He's never funny. None of his jokes are funny. He's like worse than Geops.
I know what you're talking about. I think Geops hilarious, and I love bad jokes.
That's why Joker is worse than Geops.
during one of our long shifts that I work, I picked up this joke book called what's it called? 500 Ways to Make Me Laugh Until I Cry.
Okay.
And it's just absolutely full of terrible jokes and puns.
Oh man.
And I subjected all of my coworkers to this, and it was pretty good for me. I don't know about everybody else. And then and then I picked up the sequel, which is called 500 Ways to Make Me Laugh Until I Explode.
Is it better or worse or about the same in quality of puns?
I'd call it about the same in quality. But, you know, it's obviously designed towards kids. It has some things like, hey, try these pranks out, stuff like that. But, you know, I can always appreciate a good pun. I love good puns, which is why I need to watch, Geop just started up the Zelda Wind Waker. I need to start watching that.
Well, it's only 2 videos in, and so far I believe he's just throwing things into the ocean, so you haven't missed much yet. But yeah, it's probably going to be pretty good. He's got Panzer Skank. I like Panzer Skank. So.
But anyway, so, from what you've seen... From what you've seen of Catwoman in this game, probably not good.
Okay, so let's talk about uniform damage.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Okay, so there's this trope, and I'm gonna call it tropes here about like uniform damage. Women get sexy damage, and guys get badass damage, and that's what's going on here. I mean, you look at Batman's uniform, and in the first game, over Arkham Asylum, his uniform got more and more damage, and more, oh, you got some frame loss there, more and more damage.
It's going to get worse. There's about 5 minutes close to the end of the video where it's... I tried, but it's just about unwatchable.
Yeah, anyway, so more and more damage, more and more, like, stuff like that, but it always looks really badass or really cool. It's always on him in an aesthetic way that really shows, it makes him look almost more sinister, more dangerous, you know. Catwoman, and in this game too, pretty much the same. All the damage on him is very specific to make it look like more badass, whereas Catwoman, it's to reveal more of her body and make her look more sexy, and yeah, that's just the thing.
Well, I mean, I guess I could kind of see that, but then maybe this is just me talking and I don't see it, but I don't really see anywhere in particular on her uniform that looks like it was damaged for the sake of sexiness.
I don't know, the locations, like the small of the back, you know, where the tramp stamp usually goes, above the boob, on the front of her. I've been ogling and objectifying this woman, shame on me. I mean, just a couple of locations that just
and I could kind of see that. I'm pretty sure a lot of this battle damage didn't show up until what happens is Two-Face plants a bomb in her apartment, and she goes and she doesn't know it's there, so she trips the trap, and that's when she gets a lot of this battle damage. But then again, she pretty much would have taken the bomb blast straight to the face, so I'm not too sure how a lot of the damage on the back got there.
It's not too bad, but it happens, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But like I said, there are a lot of things about Catwoman that are really cool. You know, she's not a bad person. What is the Jessica Rabbit? You know, she's not a bad person. She's just drawn that way, right? So, she's just characterized that way.
Yeah, I could see that. She's always been sort of a midway point between a villain and a hero, and a lot of times she has I don't even necessarily want to say chemistry with Batman because, well, you know, it's the obvious thing, and she does. They've had an entire romantic subplot, I believe it was in Hush. Yeah. So they've had a romantic subplot before. It didn't work out because Batman's a little paranoid about things.
But hey, Catwoman survived a romantic subplot with a superhero.
I know, right?
That's what happens to women.
That's pretty rare. But even so, she's. I'll be honest. I haven't read too much about Catwoman, and I haven't actually read too many comics in general. But I'm pretty sure she had appeared on the Wasn't she a member of the Birds of Prey for a while?
Yep, she was. She's pretty cool in Birds of Prey until she's not. So.
Well, that narrows it down.
I don't want to spoil comics. That's your job. I'm here to talk over video games.
Okay, well, I order you to spoil comics.
No, you don't have that power over me. That was part of the agreement.
Anybody who doesn't want to get spoiled on comics, leave now. All we're gonna be doing is finishing out the main story. Gonna pick up the rest of the Catwoman trophies, and I'm gonna get the last 2 political prisoners. At the end of the video, is gonna be all the Riddler tapes. So if you don't want to be spoiled on comics, leave now. Now tell me about comics.
No, actually, I'm gonna do even better, and by even better, I mean incredibly worse. So, everybody, Scruffy lives in Korea, and you know, not good Korea, better, not best Korea, just good Korea, and you know, the interview, it came out, they put it out on streaming, and I remember messaging Scruffy about the interview. I'm gonna talk about things that aren't superheroes, and saying, hey, I'm pretty sure that this is a conspiracy, because I got the— oh, god damn it! Never mind, the boob thing. The interview was a conspiracy by Sony to sell a really shitty and incredibly racist and sexist and gay-bashing movie. Haha, there, I derailed your thread.
So, I still have a jet passing over my house, but you gonna tell us about Birds of Prey or what?
Alright, so Birds of Prey, the comic. I really enjoyed Birds of Prey. The art is really good. One of the things that I really like about Birds of Prey is that it had a female writer for most of it. Gail Simone. I don't know if you know her.
I have heard the name. Haven't read too much.
Yeah, she's pretty significant in the fandom, and she talks a lot about like women, you know, women in fridges and stuff like that. She's been doing that a lot lately. Hold on, I'm about to talk. Well, crap, I should have muted myself. I didn't get to it in time. Anyway, so she did a lot of it, and it's really, really good. So basically, the premise of Birds of Prey is that the Oracle and Black Canary, who's really cool, and Catwoman and a bunch of other really cool chicks are just kind of tired of bullshit and are gonna do shit on their own, and they go around basically kicking ass and taking names and not taking no shit, and eventually they even get some people who aren't ladies to hang out with them, so like Nightwing and shit.
Yeah, because birds have wings, so that makes sense.
Yeah, so I started reading it when my sister gave me all the Gail Simone ones, and eventually she, like, bad things happen to Black Canary. She basically gets BSM'd and doesn't know the safe word, and Catwoman has unfortunate things happen to her as well, and but it has so many good points. Just you guys just read it. I don't want to spoil it. Read it until you can't stand how sexist it is anymore. Okay. But
yeah.
They brought Gail Simone back in 2010 to try and fix it after they screwed everything up. But not even Gail Simone could fix it. So.
it was gone too far. Because actually one of the I know I brought up Batman Brave and the Bold earlier, but it addresses a lot of different things, a lot of Silver Age stuff, a lot of, I want to say some Golden Age stuff. But it does have an episode on the Birds of Prey, which it has Catwoman, Black Canary, and Huntress.
Yep.
And they are singing. They're at this nightclub, singing about you know, hey, we're better than the boys, and we're the Birds of Prey, and we're gonna beat you up. And it's really fun, and that show really enjoyed its musical numbers.
It was because they got Neil Patrick Harris as the music meister. I actually watched that episode because, come on now.
Yeah.
That they were like, wow, people really like these episodes, let's just keep doing this. You know what? I'm okay with it. I'm 100% okay with musical episodes.
Yeah, that show really enjoyed its musical interludes, which I really enjoyed Brave and the Bold because it wasn't afraid to embrace the goofy side of comics. Because let's face it, these things are supposed to be, you know, inherently goofy and kind of funny. Because really, what are you dealing with? You're dealing with guys in bright costumes beating up evil.
Yeah,
you can't take that too seriously all the time. Which unfortunately is where it seems like a lot of the movies and everything else are going is, hey, we're dealing with serious business here, okay? You gotta take this seriously. But Brave and the Bold just embraced some of the goofier stuff in Batman mythos, and I loved it. Like, hey, Aquaman is cool. And hold on, Batman and Catwoman are totally flirting. Yeah, they're flirting. They're flirting really hard.
I think you just kind of need to be able to make fun of yourself, and I think that's the real difference between DC and Marvel, is that Marvel's willing to make fun of itself. I mean, Marvel's willing to be like, you know what, fuck it, we have this anthropomorphic raccoon and this tree creature, and we're gonna do this.
Yeah, let's face it. At the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, they had Howard the Duck pop up. When was the last time anybody saw Howard the Duck, if they're not comic book readers? I guess they made a movie once, but seriously?
Right, so Marvel's actually willing to make fun of itself and willing to poke fun at the whole thing, whereas DC is not willing to do any of that. They really want to be incredibly serious. They're really like, no, you know, we must be dark and edgy, and it's just, they're not willing to take those risks, and I think that's they're afraid to have fun. They hate fun. I think that's really the big difference between the two of them.
Yep, and I'm not sure if that started around the time when, I guess I'm trying to kind of figure out when they decided things need to be so serious and so angry, because it may have been the Christopher Nolan movies that kicked it off, because, hey, you know, it might have been a really nice portrayal of Batman, and, hey, Heath Ledger did a really good Joker, but at the same time, comic books are supposed to be goofy. You know, you're supposed to have fun with it.
I don't mind a little bit of seriousness now and then, but, you know, it doesn't always have to be so serious and grimdark. It can be funny. It can make fun of itself. It can poke fun at it. I love that kind of stuff where they kind of poke at the fourth wall and they kind of make little jokes and stuff. I guess I don't know, maybe I don't like good things.
Why do you hate good things? You probably hate this game too, don't you?
Actually, I think this is a really good game. I really like the free running aspect of it. I really like the open world, that you can kind of go everywhere, that there's nothing to stop you from going everywhere. I wish it kind of had a Dark Souls aspect to it, where if you went somewhere you weren't supposed to go, you just got your shit wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just, oh, there's Havel, you know, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, because you've been playing through Dark Souls a lot lately.
Yeah, the King Croc could be the Havel of the Batman game, where if you just go somewhere you're not supposed to, he just eats you or something, I don't know.
But, yeah, I can see all that, and it does, while it loses something in the translation to being more open world, you know, it's a lot easier to get distracted, do all these different things. At the same time, you do get the feeling like you're in a living and breathing city. You can kind of see, you know, through the Arkham City stories and all that, this used to be part of the town. You know, you see like the Crankco Toy Company, all these different buildings, the GCPD building, you know, all these things used to be totally functional at one point. But because of the way the city's going, straight to hell, all these things have been sublimate in favor of Arkham City.
Right. Another real good thing I like about this game existing is that it has created an actual map of Arkham City. So now you actually have something that is canon, that establishes the locations and places of things, so that super spurgy fans that are not me can get super anal about where things are and where they actually should be. And those are always fun internet discussions to watch and eat popcorn while reading.
Oh yeah, I can see stuff like that. Yeah, because you can see one of the Arkham City stories is Arkham Island. It is kind of northeast of where we are right now. If you look out from the roof of the police station, you'll see Arkham Island. And, you know, that kind of gives you an idea of, okay, well, you know, where is Arkham Asylum in relation to all this stuff? Because, you know, there's only one bridge leading onto the island, and there's a couple boats and everything, a couple launches. But, you know, how do guys go from the courthouse to Arkham Island? And this kind of goes into it. But
I really like when they're not afraid to do that, when they're not afraid to establish this is a canon thing.
It's that kind of attitude that gets you in
what
these
the
kind of
city is,
situations.
and they gotta stick with it now. If they ever diverge from it, you know, people gonna get
Will you
upset.
really? See you later,
So,
Bane.
I have bad
Hopefully
news.
next time
This is
you'll
about the
know how to
time
talk to a
that
lady.
my frame rate starts tanking.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and you can hear things going on, but you can't see them happening, to an extent.
Well,
And I have no idea what started to happen here. I don't know if my computer had a background process going or what. But at this point, just the performance for the next 5 minutes or so just takes a straight nosedive. And I started doing some judicious editing, but probably not judicious enough, just to get to the last trophy. Because luckily we're on the last trophy of the game.
yay! So, do you have any of those puns that you saved with it? Yeah.
Nope.
See, should have just come out.
Yeah, so I just cut straight to that trophy. And
there you go.
I'm gonna swap to Batman, and we're gonna see that I totally got 100% of the game.
Yay! Right, I'm ready for 100%.
I'm trying. You can see this is going so well. And I would have re-recorded this if I could, but since this game automatically saves progress, can't really take a second go at this.
Well,
Yeah. The good news is that the Riddler tapes are at the end of the video. They're still 100%, still good to go. And actually, while we're on the Riddler, we talked about him briefly in Arkham Asylum. What do you think of his portrayal in Arkham City as compared to Asylum?
he seems, I guess, more, how to put it, he doesn't seem as uptight as he was before. He almost seems like he's bored of it as well. It's almost like, I mean, he's still snarking, he's still, like, scheming, and to be completely honest, the puzzles are much better, I guess. But at the same time, he's almost like, but I must. Like, well, you know, I'm bored. It's like a bored teenager doing his chores, I guess, is the kind of feeling he's giving me.
Yeah, because a lot of the overall emotions on the Riddler here is that we don't understand why he's like Jigsaw now.
To do here in Arkham City.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if that's what you want to go with, cool, but I think there are other villains that probably suited that just fine. Like, if you wanted to create a time-specific villain, you could have done the Clock King, stuff like that. But you didn't really need a, you don't really need a Jigsaw. But here's the side missions, and there's one I haven't finished, and that is the Acts of Violence, which I don't know if you've run across any of the videos where I'm beating up guys that are threatening political prisoners.
Nope, not yet.
Oh, well. So, at certain points throughout the city, there are these political prisoners that are being threatened by the inmates. And they always appear in the same spot.
No, okay,
Yep.
yeah, you're right, because you went and saved those bums and stuff. I thought it was more of a specific thing. No, I've been there for
Nope.
that. Okay,
And
yeah.
as you're going through, as you're flying through the city, you'll hear these different areas where they're like, hey, you know, you didn't get me the medicine I needed, or where's my food at? Stuff like that. And so they always pop up in the same fixed locations, and they won't pop up in the same location twice. But I still need to get 2 of them. So basically what I'm doing is, if it wasn't skipping so much you could see more clearly, but I'm flying around the city to the locations I know they're at, trying to find them. And here's one, and then after this one there will be one more, and that will be 100%.
You either do what I want, or I kill you.
This one is around. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
This one's around back at Crime Alley. The other one is around where the political prisoners were sitting inside the little hut areas. So, what's up?
No, first of all, a lot of these camera freezes are making some really great aesthetics. I might get some of this later and put it in the thread. Because you got, like, Batman kind of doing pole dancey stuff too. But second, I found some cat jokes I was going to tell you.
Okay, you got a little bit of time. Let's hear it.
Yes, alright. So, did you hear about the cat who drank 5 bowls of water?
I didn't.
He set a new laugh record.
Nah.
Why don't cats play poker in the jungle?
I don't know.
Too many cheetahs.
Nah. Okay, so I think that's it. Yeah, my frame rate finally cleared up. Kind of.
Oh,
anyway, 100% all the way, everything closed. Everything's done. I am the best at Batman. And please stay tuned as for the rest of the campaigns. And
hey. What's the cat's way of keeping law and order? Law enforcement.
Oh, yes. So yeah, please stay tuned for the Harley Quinn's Revenge DLC, and I will see you on the other side.
Bye, guys.
Do not fret, Mr. Mayor. Everything is under control, I promise you.
It's not that I don't trust you, Hugo. It's just the headaches, the pain. They come all the time now.
Continue to take the medication. It is late, Mr. Mayor. You are tired. You need your sleep.
Of course, I need my sleep.
You will hang up now.
I will hang up now.
Imbecile.
I couldn't have put it better myself.
What? How dare you enter my office?
Oh, I'm not in your office. And please don't insult me by attempting to trace this broadcast. You will fail.
I take it I am talking to Mr. Edward Nygma.
Do you know of any other inmate in your twisted little penitentiary who is ingenious enough to arrange this little chat?
Narcissism, a compulsive desire to prove his intellect, and a predilection for riddles.
You've read my file.
Of course.
Good. Then let's get started. How do you attempt to understand what is going on in Arkham City when all of the answers are strange? Good evening, Hugo. I believe it is time for our one-on-one.
No. It is time for you to stop this and give up. My tiger guards will find you, and when that happens, I will perform the procedure on you myself.
Procedure? Oh, you mean what you did to all those poor fools back at the asylum. To be honest, I think you did them a favor.
How
do I know that you requested access to all the most forgettable patients and proceeded to melt their brains with the help of that confused milliner? Or did you mean, how do I know that you have been providing the ex-warden with your own special medication? No doubt intended to render his synapses more malleable to your suggestions. Or maybe you are currently wondering if I know about the secret panel in your closet. How it slides back to reveal what you want most. How you sit, wearing that suit, crying into your hands as you question whether you are really worthy.
What do you want, Mr. Nygma?
Oh, that's easy. I want exactly what you want.
And what's that?
Batman, dead. Humiliated, but dead. Knock, knock, Professor. Guess who?
I grow tired of these insipid games, Mr. Nygma. If you wish to speak to me, my guards will escort you safely to my tower.
Please, Hugo. If you're going to set a trap, at least pretend to try harder than that.
No traps, Edward. I simply wish to grant you safe passage through Arkham City. I think the time has come for us to meet as equals.
You, Strange? My equal? I am the man whose cunning will soon have Batman lying at my feet, bloodied and broken.
Really?
Then I will pull off his mask and look into his dull, dying eyes. In that last instant, he will know that I have finally beaten him. And I will finally know who he really is.
My apologies, Edward. I see now we are nowhere near equals.
Finally.
You see, like me, you are obsessed with the Batman. But unlike me, you don't know who he really is, do you?
What? I know you are lying, Strange. There is no way that you could have figured it out. It's some kind of trick. It must be.
Oh, I use no tricks, no childish puzzles. I simply created a psychological profile of the man most likely to be the Batman, and then matched it against the most logical candidate. I was right, of course.
Well, who is he?
Ah, but that would spoil the game for you, wouldn't it?
You must tell me. I implore you, Strange.
Really, Edward? If I could figure it out, it must be child's play for you.
But I...
Interesting. Tell me, Edward, how is the Riddler like a blank dictionary? You're both at a loss for words.